Welcome to CoinBook. My name is Calvin Waite, and I'm a professional crypto trader. I really like getting feedback from you guys about the market, what you're trading, successes, failures, so I'm going to go ahead and start giving out a t-shirt every week now. What I'll do is I'll look at all comments from Thursday to Thursday, and then Friday select a random winner. Well, everybody out there is celebrating an $18,000 Bitcoin, which is obviously very exciting. And so hope you guys are getting some sleep, staying up all night watching the ticker. Just kidding. Nobody's doing that, right? Anyway, so I wanted to point out a couple of things on the chart. The chart is looking very strong as far as this line right here is being very consistent, and it seems to be playing its role pretty good. Once we get to a directional change, like right now, our angle is starting to get even higher. Once we start getting parabolic or vertical, that is our first indication that markets are about to change. So I wanted to point out a few extra things. I don't usually look at volume on a chart, but today I just wanted to point out that our volumes in the last month or so have been definitely higher than our most recent past. Even though we've had a couple of spikes here, and this was a little bit higher volume area, it is different. Like the volume here has picked up, similar to some of this wild stuff. And the higher the volume, the more agitated the market is. This is where there's more indecision. And right now, with 7 hours to go, if we were to close right here, this is definitely an indecision candle. We've got long wicks on either side and a tight open and close range. So let me just point out that right now with our 12,500 Bitcoin volume on Bitstamp, and we've got 7 hours left on the day, so I'm just gonna divide this by the 17 hours that we currently have times 24. We're on track to do about 17.6 today. So let's see. That puts us between these two volume bars. So we're up here. We're going to end the day with some pretty high volume, pretty unusually high volume. If we have this kind of high volume, an indecision candle, there are a couple of things in the mix going on with Bitcoin. Last thing I wanted to point out was that late last night, so I'm in the United States, but last night there was a pretty sudden drop. I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart. Let me turn off this. And here we go. Okay, so I was watching us break above 18,000 for the first time in the last 2 years or so, and watched us pop pretty hard up to the 18.5 area. This was what we mentioned on the channel yesterday, that this would be a perfect mirror of what we did in 2017. Well, interesting that the whales noticed this, and they decided that they would make that the top. This move here is a complete whale move. We dropped from, let's see, we opened at 18,000, almost 300, and we hit a low of 17,000. This is a $1,300 drop in a matter of, it's hard to see on a 5-minute chart. Let's actually go to the 1 minute, and we can see exactly how this played out. So look at this. Here's our 1 minute chart. I'll turn off volume so you can actually see the bottom of this. So here's our bottom at about 17. It took us 1, 2, 3 minutes, really 2 minutes once we started going. This is what happens at the top of markets. When the whales decide we're going down, it happens. What's even more interesting in my mind is that this failed. I was definitely expecting to wake up today with a lower price, And if we failed dropping that, so let me go back to 5 minutes so we can kind of see the action. We've had a couple of attempts, but I don't think it'll take too much to sell people on the downside. So we recently hit 17.2. We're back up to 17, 18. So there's some big money at play here. Everyone knows we need a correction, and the whales are getting impatient. They're getting to the point where they're ready to make things move. But I think there's still some buyers in the market. So the question is how do you trade this, right? Or do you? You'll probably sleep a lot better if you don't. But I was having a conversation with a very good friend this morning about what to do, and I just wanted to remind all of you that obviously my channel is not trading. Like, this is educational. I'm not trying to convince you to sell or buy or do anything. That I just want to teach you a little bit about how markets work and help manage emotion. Because even if you've got a 99% chance that a trade is going to work out perfectly, there's a 1% chance that it'll blow up in your face. And this goes back to making the right size decisions. Because if you invest 100% of your position, and statistically you've got a 99% chance of it winning, you're not balancing your risk correctly, because you've taken a 100% chance when there's not a 100% chance of success. And so what you want to do is, if you decide to make a trade like this, you have to be able to manage emotion. You have to stick to your guns and take maybe, my largest position is like 1% on altcoins. But if I was to make a trade like this, I might do 10, maybe 20% of my portfolio and put, and put in a buy order, or excuse me, a sell order, because it really is 99%. Well, it's 100% that we're going to correct. The 99% is, will we blow past 20,000 and correct down to 21 or something like that? The correction is coming. The question is where is the actual top? Whales are getting antsy. Volumes are high. This is a very, very interesting indecision candle that's at the top of a meteoric rise. Like, there's just like, this is a 99% trade. But the thing is if you decide to sell after the whales, there's no market there. Those whales dropped it $1,300 in 4 minutes. So you have to decide what you're going to do in advance. You have to plan it. You have to decide, you know what? 17,857 is fine. I'm going to go ahead and take the plunge, and then you got to stick to your guns when it keeps going. And same on the other side. Oh wow, it's dropped so fast. I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to move my stop lower. I'm going to move my buy order lower. I'm going to keep moving it down, and then it turns around and rockets up because whales are like, yep, that's all we're given this correction. So you have to really be determined. You have to be very planned so that your emotions don't get in the mix. But do I think we're going down? I mean, yeah, I do. Am I making that trade? No, because I'm not necessarily, like, I don't really trade Bitcoin to USD. I'm willing to ride out a lot of this because I just know long term where it's headed. I don't need to do a short-term capital gains trade, unless it's absolutely necessary. And there may be a chance where I might snipe something, but it's certainly not going to be with 100% of my portfolio. So keep everything in check, make smart moves, and hopefully that's a pretty good update. We're getting there though. I mean, here's our golden all-time high. We're getting close, and whales are getting antsy. So I think a lot of people are watching this, and it just makes me think that we're probably going to correct before then. But so if you want to ride this, it's up to you. But I would take a smart position, and I would take the position and stick with it. Don't get emotional, and don't chase it on the way down. That's not going to help you at all. That'll get you wrecked. So I read and respond to all the comments, and some of your comments are really thought-provoking. It really makes me think. One question was, what is going to happen if Bitcoin does drop? Will that start our alt season, or will it make things worse? And that's a good question, because historically, more recently in the history of Bitcoin, any volatility has caused alts to sell off, which is very kind of unusual. But think about this. If Bitcoin does drop pretty good, it's going to take a while for Bitcoin to find its footing and stabilize and all of that. I'm betting that stabilization period will allow alts to take off. And right now, our altcoin market, we're at about 9 million Bitcoin is the entire altcoin market. And it's obviously we've broken past all of these lows here, so we are definitely heading down. And I really think that once Bitcoin stabilizes, we'll start seeing some changes. It's very interesting to me that in the rest of the market, so if I look at most of the coins are dropping off, but the coins that do have the right structure, like here's Decred, this looks really awesome. And Waves is one I did a video on not long ago. It looks really awesome. So even though everything's really, really red, the coins that have the right structure are actually maintaining that. And it shows you that people are hungry for alt season. And I think even some whales are really watching, because there are a couple of random coins, like look at VRC today, just taking off. There's a little bit of a hunger, and when these finally bottom and turn around, it's going to be a pretty sweet ride. So alt season is coming. I mean, look at Sphere. We had this crazy thing. So everyone's bots and everybody's eyes are watching to see when these start turning around, and if anything that has any traction is just getting launched. So we just have to be patient, wait for Bitcoin to stabilize. Once that all happens, then we're gonna have some opportunities. So just hang on tight. Things are coming. This is what trading Bitcoin's going to look like in the next few days. Everything's fine. Everything's totally under control. So I've already made our video a little too long because I had a long Bitcoin update. So I'll just make this really quick. For the chart of the day, I was going to point out that a lot of these stable coins, I'm looking at PAX. So DAI and PAX, these stable coins, they have these they are essentially dollar for dollar, and they're supposed to be priced at $1 per coin. And if Bitcoin does have a drop, these will likely spike up. And very, very unusual. Take a look at Steam-backed dollars today. This is supposed to be a stable coin. I just can't help but laugh. Look what's going on here. So, I mean, you know, there are some weird ways to trade this, because if the market is weird, like I don't know what's going on with this. This is mispriced like crazy. It should be at 5,600 satoshis, right where DAI and PAX are, and but we're up here we hit 10,000 satoshis, and so some of these markets are really thin, and some of these are traded by bots. And so maybe rather than take your position out and sell it into dollars, if you sell it into something with a thin market, you know, look at these things. Like, this doesn't make sense. This just says that there's not very much liquidity here. So if you have a smaller position and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take a chance, and instead of selling my Bitcoin for dollars, maybe sell it into DAI or something. If you put a sell order in somewhere here, some of these spikes might actually improve your position better than just selling for dollars and waiting it out. So anyway, obviously this is risky because these are thin markets. This doesn't make any sense, but I could see this happening with a lot of thinner stable coins that have a lot of bots that are just trading everything. So anyway, pretty funny. Wanted to share that. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Okay, it is time to separate the CoinBook trolls from the CoinBook fans. So, these are the magnificent t-shirts that we are giving away every Friday. These are individually packaged with love from your best friends, China. There's also this incredible option designed by yours truly, and we'll be giving away probably 1 or 2 of these every Friday to just a random comment on any of the videos over the past week. But, and I don't blame you, if you absolutely cannot live without one of these shirts, I am willing to part with them for $15 worth of your favorite crypto. Just reach out to me on social media and we'll get you guys hooked up.